All right, welcome into Jammin' Sports, everybody. On this Tuesday evening, we have a baseball, football doubleheader for you. First up, it's game number 2 of the World Series between the Oakland A's and the Chicago Cubs. Oakland won game 1 back on Sunday night by a score of 5-0. They have a 1-0 lead in the series here in game number 2. Game number 2 will be in Chicago. Games 3, 4, and 5 will be back in Oakland, and games 5 and 6, if necessary, will be back in Chicago. And then later tonight, after baseball, we'll start week 13 of our NFL season. It'll be the LA Rams and the Minnesota Vikings. More on that later. First up, baseball. Let's head out to Wrigley Field in Chicago for this one. Game 2 of the World Series here at Jammin' Sports. She's turning it down. There's your lineups for today. Jammin' Sports presents game number 2 of the World Series, live from Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Oakland A's and the Chicago Cubs. A's lead the series 1-0 with a win in game 1, 5-0. Fergie Jenkins on the mound for the Cubs tonight, facing Plank. Game 2 of the World Series up next here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the first. Fergie Jenkins will be pitching for the Cubs. The A's trying to take a 2-0 lead in the series. The Cubs trying to tie things up at 1 game apiece. Ricky Henderson will lead things off for the A's, the left fielder, here in game 2. And game 2 is now underway. Here's the pitch. Popped up in the air. Ryan Sandberg at second makes the play for out number 1. 1 down for the A's. Here at the top of the first, there's their lineup. Bert Campaneris, the shortstop, up next. 1 out here in the top of the first. No score, obviously. So Bert Campaneris, the shortstop, up. Here's the pitch. And he fouls it off, 0-1. Game 2 live from Wrigley Field, just underway. 1 out for the A's here in the top of the first. Base is empty. The pitch by Jenkins. Down low, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. And now the 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out, base is empty. And now the 1-2 pitch. Up high, that'll leave the count at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Ripped foul down the third base line. Count remains at 2-2 to Bert Campaneris. And now the 2-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. Count remains at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch by Jenkins. Big swing and a miss. Struck him out for out number 2. 2 down for the A's here in the top of the first. Jimmy Fox, the DH, up next. Big swing and a miss. Strike 1. 2 outs, bases empty here in the top of the first, no score. The count to Fox is 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Remains at 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs, bases empty. The pitch. Struck him out the end of the inning. After a half inning, no score. Here at Jammin' Sports. All right, we go to the the bottom of the first inning here in game 2. No score between the A's and the Cubs. A's lead the series 1-0. And for Chicago, the first baseman, Cap Anson, will lead things off. On the mound for the A's is Eddie Plank, the starting pitcher. The pitch by Plank. In there for a strike, 0-1. Bottom of the first, no score. Oh, 1 pitch. Rips it down the line. That's going to be foul. Just foul into the stands. The count goes to 0-2 to Cap Anson. And now the 0-2 pitch. A ground ball right to the third baseman, Sal Bando. He knocks it down. It'll be a base hit. A leadoff single for the Cubbies. And now Ron Santo, the third baseman for the Cubs, will come up. Down low, 1-0. We're live from Wrigley Field in Chicago. Now the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, nobody out, runner on first base. Cap Anson at first. The pitch by Plank. Big swing and miss, strike 2. Count goes to 1-2. Now the 1-2 pitch. Ripped it right to Chavez, and they don't get the double play. Eric Chavez, the second baseman, throws to Campaneris covering the bag at second. They get the leadoff runner. Anson, he's out. 1 down, a fielder's choice. And now Billy Williams, the left fielder, comes up. They throw to first. They got him in a pickle, and he's out. They caught Santo between first and second, and they tag him out. 2 down for the Cubs. Base is empty now, and Billy Williams comes up. The first pitch to Williams. Big swing and miss, strike 1. Count goes to 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. Down low, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Base is empty. The 1-1 pitch. Ripped into right field. Reggie Jackson goes back and cannot make the play. Williams in there with a double. A 2-out double for Billy Williams. Reggie Jackson went back and couldn't get to it. It hits off the wall in right field for a 2-out double. And now Sammy Sosa, the right fielder, will come up with 2 outs and a runner on second base. Outside, 1-0. We're in the bottom of the first here in Game 2 of the World Series. The 1-0 pitch, big swing and a miss. They'll even the count at 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2-1. Just Sosa. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs, runner on second. That's Billy Williams at second base. 2-1 pitch. Did he go around? No, 3-1. And now the 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. So the Cubs with 2 outs now have runners at first and second. And now the shortstop Ernie Banks comes up for the Cubs here in the bottom of the first inning. The pitch in the dirt. Ball 1. Eddie Plank, the pitcher for the A's, being a bit sporadic here in the bottom of the first inning. 2 outs, runners at first and second. The count's 1-0 to Banks. The 1-0 pitch. Fouls it off, 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners at first and second. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. That evens the count. And now the 2-2 pitch. Down low, full count, 3-2. Now the 3-2 pitch. Outside, ball 4. So with 2 outs, the Cubs have loaded the bases. There was 2 outs, bases empty a moment ago. Now it's 2 outs, bases loaded. And Hack Wilson comes up, the center fielder. Inside, ball 1. A walk will score a run. A nightmarish first inning for the A's. For Eddie Plank, he's got to get himself out of a jam. Now the 1-0 pitch. Inside, 2-0. Two balls, no strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. And now the 2-0 pitch. Inside, 3-0. Oh boy. This one about to go from bad to worse. And now the 3-0 pitch by Plank. Ball 4, that's going to score a run. And the Cubs lead at 1-0. All this happening with 2 outs. And now Aramis Ramirez comes up next, the DH. Cubs up 1-0. Down low, 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. Rips it foul down the line. That'll even the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Bases still loaded for the Cubs. And now the 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Fouls it out. Remains at 1-2. It's been a long first inning. Now the 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Remains at 1-2. The Cubs have scored a run. They take a 1-0 lead. And now the 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Remains at 1-2. Plank has pitched 31 pitches here in the first inning. And now the 1-2 pitch. That hit him. He walks another one. And now the Cubs are up 2-0. Walked in another run. And now the catcher, Gabby Hartnett, will come up. Outside, ball 1. 2 outs, bases loaded. Still for the Cubbies. 2 runs have been walked in. And now the pitch to Hartnett. In there for a strike, 1-1. A bizarre and long bottom of the first inning. Counts 1-1 to Hartnett. And now the 1-1 pitch. And that's going to drop for a base hit into right field. 2 runs are going to score, but throw home not in time. A 2 RBI single for Gabby Hartnett. And the Cubs now lead it 4-0 here in the bottom of the first. As Hack Wilson and Sammy Sosa both scored, or Ernie Banks, I'm sorry. Sosa at third base. Runners at first and third. Ryan Sandberg comes up now. The second baseman. Down low, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. The Cubs have scored 4 here in the bottom of the first. And now the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch. Down, oh, it's in there, 2-1. Down low. 2 balls and a strike to Ryan Sandberg. Cubs, 4 runs so far here in the bottom of the first. 2-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 2-2. Now the 2-2 pitch. Ball down low. Full count at 3-2. The 9th batter of the inning for the Cubbies. They batted around. Now the 3-2 pitch. It's a base hit. That's going to score another run. And the Cubs now lead it 5-0 with runners at first and second. Still 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. The Cubs have batted around, and I think we've seen the last of Plank. Been shellacked for 5 runs here in the bottom of the first. New pitcher coming in for Oakland. Vida Blue will come on in. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. Runners at first and second. All 5 of the Cubs' runs came with 2 outs. And now Cap Hansen comes up. The pitch. Down low, 1-0. His second at-bat of the inning. 5-0 Cubbies here in the bottom of the first. It's been a 20-minute first inning. In there for a strike. Paul Blackburn warming up in the bullpen for the A's. Count evens up at 1-1. And now the 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Game 2 of the World Series. The Cubs lead at 5-0. Here still in the bottom of the first. 2-1 pitch. Popped it up. Campaneris goes back and makes the final out. At the end of 1, the Cubs have scored 5. They lead at 5-0 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the second inning. The Cubs lead at 5-0. Jose Canseco, the center fielder, will lead things off for the A's. Fergie Jenkins still on the mound. In there for a strike, 0-1. A 5-run first inning for the Cubbies. And they take a 5-0 lead. The A's won 5-0 Sunday night in Game 1. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 0-2 to Canseco. And now the 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Remains 0-2. Canseco back at the plate. And he fouls that one off. 0-2 still. Nobody out, nobody on here for the A's in the top of the second. Cubs up 5-0. And now the 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Remains 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Remains 0-2. Jenkins on the hill. The 0-2 pitch. And that's a ground ball to Anson. He'll throw to Jenkins covering the bag for out number 1. One down for the A's here in the top of the second. Canseco grounds out to first. And now the first baseman, Jason Giambi, comes up. 1 out, bases empty. Again to Anson. And he'll touch the bag. 2 down. So Giambi grounds out to first. 2 down for the A's. And now the right fielder, Reggie Jackson, comes up with 2 outs, bases empty. In there for a strike, 0-1. Next pitch up high. That'll even the count at 1-1. Now the 1-1 pitch. Up high, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike. And the 2-1 pitch. He went around. That'll even the count at 2-2 to Jackson. And now the 2-2 pitch. Inside. Full count at 3-2 to Reggie Jackson. And now the 3-2 pitch. Struck him out. At the end of 1.5, the Cubbies lead at 5-0 here in Game 2 of the World Series here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the second inning. Ron Santo, the third baseman, will lead things off. Cubs up 5-0. Vida Blue on the hill. Fouls it off. Count goes to 0-1. A 5-run first inning for the Cubs. 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 0-2 to Ron Santo, the third baseman. Now the 0-2 pitch. Outside, the count's 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Popped it up, out of play. Count remains at 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Base is empty. And now the 2-2 pitch. High in the air, down the right field line, out of play. Count remains at 2-2 to Ron Santo. And now the 2-2 pitch. Outside, 3-2. A full count. And now the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. It's a leadoff walk for the Cubs. Here in the bottom of the second inning. Billy Williams, the left fielder, will come up next. Nobody out. Runner on first base. Cubs up 5-0. The pitch, popped it up, and coming in and making the play is actually Bert Campaneris, the shortstop, in the shallow left, makes the play for out number 1. Runner stays at first base. And now the right fielder, Sammy Sosa, will come up for the Cubs. With 1 out, runner on first base. There goes the runner, down to second, and he's safe. Ron Santo steals second base. So now the Cubs with 1 out, they have a runner at second base in scoring position. Oh, he was in there easily. He got a good jump. The count's 0-1 to Sosa. The 0-1 pitch.
1-1.
Inside, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runner on second base. That's Santo. And now the 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1. And now the 2-1 pitch. Pops it up, out of play, down the first base line. We're in the bottom of the second. Cubs up 5-0 here in Game 2 of the World Series. The Cubs scored 5 in the first to take a 5-0 lead. Struck him out as Sosa goes down swinging for out number 3. 2 down for the Cubs here at the top of the second. They still have a runner at second base. And Ernie Banks, the shortstop, will come up. Ron Santo at second. Ziggy in the house. Up high, 1-0. The A's won Game 1, 5-0 Sunday night. The Cubs are trying to tie up the series. Up high, 2-0. Ziggy in the house. Good to see you, Ziggy. Ziggy rooting for the Cubs. 2-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Count goes to 2-1 to Ernie Banks with 2 outs and a runner on second. Ron Santo at second base. The 2-1 pitch. Rips it right past Giambi. Coming home. The throw home. Not in time. An RBI single for Ernie Banks. And the Cubs go up 6-0. Right past Jason Giambi at first base. And now the center fielder, Hack Wilson, will come up. A ground ball up the middle. And they'll just step on everybody's safe. Eric Chavez made the play, but everybody was safe. And now Aramis Ramirez, the DH, will come up next. 6-0 Cubs. And that's going to be a base hit. The throw home. And they get him at home plate. At the end of 2, an RBI single. And the Cubs take a 6-0 lead here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 3rd here in game number 2. Eric Chavez will lead things off with a base hit all the way to the wall, the second baseman. And that'll be a leadoff double for Eric Chavez for the Oakland Athletics. It was dumb, Ziggy. I agree with you. Let's watch the replay. All the way to the wall. Next up, Sal Bando, the third baseman for the A's. With nobody out, runner on second base. The pitch, inside, 1-0. The Oakland A's won Game 1 Sunday night by a score of 5-0. Now here in Game 2, the Cubs have a 6-0 lead, trying to even the series. Big swing and a miss. One ball, one strike to Bando. Nobody out, runner on second. And now the 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Strike 2. Count goes to 1-2 to Sal Bando. The 1-2 pitch. Rips it foul down the third base line. Count goes to 1-2 to Bando. Chavez taking the lead at second base. The 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Remains at 1-2. We're in the top of the 3rd. We're live from Wrigley Field in Chicago. Game 2 of the World Series. The 1-2 pitch. Down low, 2-2. That'll even the count. Little Travian in the room. Good to see you, Little Travian. Welcome on in. Outside, full count. Travian has stepped in the building. That's right. Here in Game 2 of the World Series. Full count to Sal Bando here in the top of the 3rd. Cubs up 6-0. Fouls it off. Remains 3-2. And now the 3-2 pitch. Up high, he draws a walk. The A's now have runners at first and second, nobody out. Here in the top of the 3rd inning. The catcher, Mickey Cochran, comes up. In there for a strike, 0-1. A's trying to get back in the game. They're down 6-0 here in the top of the 3rd. And now the 0-1 pitch. Rips it foul. Count goes to 0-2 to Cochran. And now the 0-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Remains 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. Did he go around? No. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Runners at first and second for the A's. Next pitch is a ball that'll even the count at 2-2. And now the 2-2 pitch. Strike three. Caught him looking. One down for the A's. Here in the top of the third. It hit the outside corner. That was a good pitch. And now we go to the top of the order with one out. Left fielder Ricky Henderson comes up. In there for a strike, 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. Down low, 1-1 to Henderson. Here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. The 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 1-2 to Ricky Henderson. And now the 1-2 pitch. Outside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners at first and second. The 2-2 pitch. Big swing and miss. Struck him out for out number 2. 2 down for the A's here at the top of the third. They have runners at first and second. And the shortstop, Bert Campaneris, will come up. The pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. As he fouls it off down the line. 0-2 quickly to Campaneris. Cubs up 6-0 here in the top of the third. And now the 0-2 pitch. Down low, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Now the 1-2 pitch. Struck him out. At the end of 2.5. Cubs lead it by a score of 6-0. We go to the bottom of the third. The catcher, Gabby Hartnett, will lead things off for the Cubs. Vida Blue on the hill for the A's. In there for a strike, 0-1. Cubs lead it 6-0. And now the 0-1 pitch. Ripped past Bando at third. A base hit for Hartnett. A leadoff single for the Cubs here in the bottom of the third inning. Right past Sal Bando at third base. Into the corner. So a leadoff single for the Cubs here in the third. Second baseman Ryan Sandberg will come up. Sandberg out to right. Reggie comes in and can't get it. A base hit. Back-to-back singles for the Cubs here in the bottom of the third. And they have runners at first and second with nobody out. A bloop single to right field for Sandberg. And now the top of the order. First baseman Cap Anson comes up. Nobody out, runners at first and second. And he fouls that off into the crowd down the first base line. 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. And that's a base hit. And that might score 2. It's going to score 1. Coming around. That's going to score 2 runs. Cap Hansen ends up with a double. That scores 2 runs. And the Cubs take an 8-0 lead And CGM's in the house, and I think CGM is right. The Cubs are pissed off about game one. They lead it 8-0 here in the bottom of the third inning. Ron Santo will come up now with nobody out, runner on second base. Count goes to 0-1. He's been all Cubs so far. 0-1 pitch. Down low, 1-1. The Cubs scored 5 in the first. They scored 1 in the second. And now they've scored 2 so far here in the third. He went around. Count goes to 1-2 to Ron Santo. So CGM's in the house. Our good friend from DC. And now the 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off, 1-2. The count remains. Now the 1-2 pitch. Struck him out, looking for out number 1. 1 down for the Cubs here in the bottom of the third inning. We're 40 minutes into this game, and we're only in the third inning. These innings have been long. Billy Williams comes up, the left fielder. 1 out, runner on second base. In there for a strike, 0-1. We will have a football game tonight when this is over. We'll kick off week 13. It'll be the Rams and the Vikings from Minneapolis. Outside, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, runner on second base. Now the 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Struck him out for out number 2. Billy Williams goes down. 2 down for the Cubs here in the bottom of the third. They lead it 8-0. Sammy Sosa will come up next, the right fielder. It is. Big swing and miss, strike 1. 21 had great commentary because they had Vasgersian. I really like him. 0-1 pitch. Rips it foul. Count goes to 0-2. Matt Vasgersian in the show 21. I don't know why they got rid of him. He did a great job. 0-2 pitch. Did he go around? No. Count goes to 1-2 to Sosa. And now the 1-2 pitch. Up high, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on second, that's Anson at second base. Down low, 3-2. Yeah, they should have kept him. Yes, you're right. Matt Vasgersian is one of the best. And now the 3-2 pitch to Sosa. Swung and struck him out. However, at the end of 3, the Cubs lead it 8-0 here at Jammin' Sports. Welcome back to Wrigley Field. Chicago, Illinois. Game 2 of the World Series. The A's lead the series 1-0. The Cubs well on their way to tying it up. We go to the top of the 4th. Leading things off is Jimmy Fox. It's in there for a strike. No, it's out. It's on the outside. 1-0. Davis in the house. 1-0 pitch. Popped up. And Anson comes over in foul territory and makes the play for out number 1. So Fox will pop out to the first baseman. Yeah, Vasgersian was in it from 06 to 21. But the thing is, if it ain't broke, why fix it? He was there for a long time for a reason. Jose Canseco, 1 out, he's the center fielder. Pops it up down the first base line, 0-1. 8-0 lead for the Cubs. They scored 5 in the first, 1 in the second, and 2 in the third to take a 8-0 lead. Canseco checks his swing, but it's still in there for a strike, 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch, outside, 1-2. The Cubs have dominated. 1-2 pitch, into the night, see ya. Home run by Jose Canseco. A solo shot over the scoreboard. And the A's get on the board. The Cubs still lead at 8-1. Roid run. Yep. Let's watch this one again. I think this one cleared the scoreboard. I mean, he got all of that one. Or did it hit the scoreboard? Nope. It was short of the scoreboard. I thought it hit the scoreboard. It was short. Home run nonetheless. Cubs lead at 8-1. 1 out, bases empty. Jason Giambi comes up, the first baseman. And he flies it up down the left field line, out of play. Ball 1, strike 1 actually. Count goes to 0-1 to Giambi. 1 out, bases empty. A's are on the board. That's something anyway. The 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off, 0-2. The Cubs still lead by 7. Oh, 2 pitch. He went around and struck him out for out number 2. Giambi didn't like that call. And I can't say as I blame him. I don't think he went all around. I do not think he went all around. Reggie Jackson comes up, the right fielder. 2 outs, bases empty. Down low, 1-0. Cubs lead it 8-1 here in the top of the 4th. 2 outs, bases empty. Counts 1-0 to Jackson. The 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, bases empty. And now the 1-1 pitch. Up high, 2-1.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Counts 2-1. And now the 2-1 pitch. Rips it into right field. Will it drop? No, foul. Count goes to 2-2 to Jackson. And now the pitch by Jenkins. Inside, full count, 3-2. In the 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off down the line. Remains 3-2. The 3-2 pitch. Rips it into the crowd. Down the third base line. Remains 3-2. Long at bat for Jackson. 3-2 pitch. High in the air, out to left field. Billy Williams goes back and makes the play. At the end of 3.5, Jose Canseco gets a solo shot, but the Cubs still lead at 8-1. Here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Shortstop Ernie Beggs will lead things off for the Cubs. They have an 8-1 lead. Vida Blue still on the mound. Pitches outside, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Inside 2-0. Vida Blue, the legendary pitcher, he passed away recently, a couple of weeks ago. 2-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 2-1. He was a rookie at just 17. He played a long time. 2-1 pitch. Down low, 3-1. And now the 3-1 pitch. And Cochran, Williams pops it up, and Cochran makes the play for out number 1. Ernie Banks pops out to the catcher, 1 down. The center fielder, Hack Wilson, comes up next with 1 out, bases empty. Inside, ball 1, count goes to 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. Ball 2, 2-0. And now the 2-0 pitch. Up high, 3-0. The problem is Wilson's only 5'5", so he's got a very small strike zone. Or 5'6", actually. Still, it's a small strike zone. And now the 3-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 3-1. And now the 3-1 pitch. That hit him. Though he went around, though. He swung. It doesn't matter if it hit you if you swing. Count goes to 3-2. Full count to Wilson. And now the 3-2 pitch. Rips it right to Bando at third. They throw to first for out. Oh, he's safe. The throw took him off the bag. That'll be an error on Bando. His throw was off. So Wilson reaches on an error. So with 1 out, the Cubs have a runner on first base. Aramis Ramirez, the DH, up next. They throw to first. Wilson back in time. The Cubs lead it 8-1 here in the bottom of the 4th. The pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. Popped it up. Jackson out and right. Actually, Canseco will come over and make the play for 2 outs. Ramirez flies out to center. And next up, the catcher, Gabby Hartnett. 2 outs, runner on first base. That's Hack Wilson at first. Cubs lead it 8-1 here in the bottom of the 4th. The pitch by Blue. Big swing and a miss, strike 1. Count goes to 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. Down low, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runner on first base for the Cubbies here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Game 2 of the World Series. 1-1 pitch. Inside, 2-1. And now the 2-1 pitch. He went around. They'll even the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first base. The 2-2 pitch. And it's going to be a base hit down the right field line. Wilson, they might send him home. No, he hangs up at third base. It's a single for Hartnett. And now the Cubs have runners on the corners with 2 outs. And Ryan Sandberg, the second baseman, comes up. Pops it up out of play. Count goes to 0-1. Ryan Sandberg, the second baseman for the Cubs. Runners at first and third with 2 outs. And now the 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. Struck him out. They end the inning. At the end of 4 complete, the Cubs lead it 8-1. Game 2 of the World Series here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 5th. The Cubs up 8-1. Leading things off, the second baseman for the A's, Eric Chavez. Fergie Jenkins still on the mound. In there for a strike, 0-1. Cubs trying to tie the series up before they go back to Oakland. High in the air, out to Wilson in center. And he makes the play for out number 1. Chavez flies out to center. 1 down. For the A's here in the top of the 5th, third baseman Sal Bando comes up. 1 out, bases empty. Down low, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. The A's trying to mount a comeback. Inside, 1-1. One pitch, up high, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Bando. And now the 2-1 pitch. Down low, 3-1. Three-one pitch. Fouls it off down the third base line. We got a full count at 3-2. This Sal Bando. And now the 3-2 pitch. High in the air, out to left. Billy Williams comes up and makes the play for out number 2. 2 down for the A's here in the top of the 5th. Wrigley Field in Chicago is where we are. Mickey Cochran, the catcher, comes up next with 2 outs, bases empty. High in the air, DeSosa in right, makes the play for the out. At the end of 4.5, Cubbies lead it 8-1 here at Jammin' Sports. We have a new pitcher for the A's. It'll be Paul Blackburn. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, Cubs lead it 8-1. First baseman Cap Anson will lead things off for the Cubs. Davis in the house. Yeah, it's an 8-1 lead by the Cubs here in Game 2, trying to tie things up. The pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. Game 2 of the World Series. The A's lead it 1-0, but the Cubs trying to tie things up. The 0-1 pitch. Fouls down the line. 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. Big swing and miss. Struck him out for out number 1. 1 down for the Cubs here at the bottom of the 5th. Third baseman Ron Santo will come up. One out, base is empty. The pitch to Santo. Outside, 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. Rips it right to Campaneris. He'll throw to first for the out. 2 down for the Cubs here in the bottom of the 5th. We'll have football after this game tonight. We'll kick off week 13 with the Rams and the Vikings. 2 down, bases empty here in the 5th for the Cubbies. And Billy Williams, the left fielder, up next. Outside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch by Blackburn. In there for a strike. I'll even the count at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, bases empty. Williams at the plate. The 1-1 pitch. And that's right to Giambi. He'll touch the bag for the out. After 5 complete, the Cubbies lead it 8-1 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 6th. Ricky Henderson will lead things off for the A's. The left fielder, 0 for 2 tonight. Fergie Jenkins still on the mound for the Cubs. He went around, strike 1. Count goes to 0-1. The 0-1 pitch. Rips it into left field, the base hit. A leadoff single for the A's here in the top of the 6th as Henderson is aboard. And now the shortstop, Bert Campaneris, comes up. High in the air down the left field line, but out of play. Count goes to 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch by Jenkins. Up high, 1-1. Nobody out, runner on first base for the A's. Here in the top of the 6th. Oakland trying to get back in this. The 1-1 pitch. And that's right to Banks. They'll turn 2. Yes, they do. As the Cubs get the double play. Ernie Banks, the shortstop, starting the double play. 2 down for the A's, bases empty. Jimmy Fox, the DH, up next. In there for a strike, 0-1. 2 outs, bases empty. The 0-1 pitch, down low, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. The 1-1 pitch, swung at a outside pitch. The count's at 1-2. Now the 1-2 pitch, struck him out. And at the end of 5.5, Cubs lead it 8-1 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning here in Game 2 of the World Series. Cubs lead it 8-1. Right fielder Sammy Sosa will lead things off. Paul Blackburn still on the mound for the A's. Fouls it off. Count goes to 0-1. So we're in the bottom of the 6th here at Wrigley Field. Game 2 of the World Series. And now the 0-1 pitch. He did not go around. 1-1. Acevedo and Jackson warming up in the bullpen for the A's. The count's 1-1 to Sammy Sosa. Just inside, 2-1. Cubs lead Game 2, 8-1. And now the 2-1 pitch. Ripped to third. Bando throws to first for the out. So Sosa grounds out to third base. 1 down here in the bottom of the 6th. And now the shortstop, Ernie Banks, comes up with 1 out, bases empty. He went around, strike 1. Count goes to 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch to Banks. Up high, but in the strike zone, shoulder high. Count goes to 0-2. Crowd didn't like that one. Games 3, 4, and 5 will be in Oakland. 0-2 pitch. A grounder right back to the pitcher. Blackburn throws to first for the out. 2 down for the Cubs. Here in the bottom of the 6th. And now the center fielder, Hack Wilson, will come up with 2 outs, bases empty. And Wilson fouls it off, strike 1, down the first baseline. And now the 0-1 pitch. Fouls it off again down the first baseline. And the count quickly 0-2 to Wilson with 2 outs, bases empty. Now the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt, 1-2. Now the 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off again, remains 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. The pitch by Blackburn. And that's going to be caught by Jackson, a diving catch in right field to rob Wilson of a hit. Let's watch that again. Cubs lead at 8-1. We go to the 7th here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 7th here in Game 2. Jose Canseco will come up. He hit a home run the last time he came up. The A's only run. Fouls that one off, 0-1. We're in the top of the 7th. Cubs lead it 8-1 here in Game 2. 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike, nobody out, base is empty. 1-1 pitch. Fouls it off. It could be. I predicted a 5-game series. I predicted the A's in 5. 1-2 pitch, up high, 2-2. Evil Dead and I both have predicted a 5-game series. 2-2 pitch, popped up. Anson comes up and makes the play. So Canseco pops out to first for 1 out. First baseman Jason Giambi comes up next. 1 out, base is empty. In there for a strike, 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Fouled it off quickly, 0-2 to Giambi. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if this was a 6-game series. 0-2 pitch. Inside, 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Counts at 1-2 to Giambi. With 1 out, bases empty. And now the 1-2 pitch. Down low, 2-2. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Game 2 of the World Series. And now the 2-2 pitch to Giambi. And he rips it into left field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Giambi, a 1-out double for the A's here in the top of the 7th. And opposite field, double down the left field line. He's a lefty batter. And he hit it to the opposite field. And now with 1 out, a runner on second, the right fielder Reggie Jackson comes up for the A's. Up high, 1-0. Can the A's come back? They're down 8-1. It'd be a tall order. And we're in the top of the 7th already with 1 out. Now the 1-0 pitch. Down low, 2-0. And now the 2-0 pitch. Outside, 3-0. And now the 3-0 pitch. Rips it foul down the line. Count goes to 3-1 to Jackson. The 3-1 pitch by Jenkins. Down low, ball 4. And now the A's have runners at first and second with 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. And Eric Chavez, the second baseman, up next. He went around, strike 1. Counts 0-1 to Chavez. 1 out, runners at first and second for the A's. Giambi at second, Jackson at first. The 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2 on the inside corner. Count quickly, 0-2 to Chavez. And now the 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. The 1-2 pitch. Did he go around? He said he did. Struck him out for out number 2. 9 strikeouts for Jenkins. And now with 2 outs, runners at first and second. The third baseman, Sal Bando, will come up. Inside, 1-0. They're a little bit liberal. A shot into left field. He's coming around, the throw home. Nope, they hold up at third. Ends up being a single. And now bases are loaded. Mickey Cochran, the catcher, will come up with 2 outs. In their first strike, 0-1. 2 outs, bases loaded for the A's. Here in the top of the 7th, trying to get back in this game. A home run here would be huge. The 0-1 pitch. In their first strike, quickly 0-2. Now the 0-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out. They leave the runners stranded at the end of 6.5. Cubs up 8-1 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. The Cubs up 8-1 here in Game 2. Aramis Ramirez will lead things off, the DH. A ground ball to Campaneris. They'll throw to first for the out. 1 down for the Cubs, as Ramirez will ground out to short. Here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Gabby Hartnett, the catcher, will be up next. 1 out, bases empty. The pitch by Blackburn. Low, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. Rips it foul down the line. Count evens up at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bases empty. Gabby Hartnett, the catcher, at the plate. The 1-1 pitch. Down low, 2-1. The 2-1 pitch. Fouls it off down the third base line. They'll even the count at 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. Struck him out looking for out number 2. 2 down for the Cubs here in the bottom of the 7th. We have football after this. We'll have the Rams at the Vikings. We'll start week 13 of our NFL after this game. 2 down, bases empty. Second baseman Ryan Sandberg. Down low, 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch by Blackburn. Inside, 2-0. 2 outs, bases empty. The count's 2-0 to Sandberg. The 2-0 pitch. Down the line, but foul. Counts at 2-1. Cubs lead it 8-1 here in the bottom of the 7th. 2-1 pitch. Inside, 3-1.
3-1.
And now the 3-1 pitch to Sandberg. Fouls it off. We got a full count at 3-2 with 2 outs, bases empty. And now the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. It's a 2-out walk for Sandberg. So the Cubs have a runner on first. As Cap Hansen, the first baseman, comes up. Cubs lead it 8-1 here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 outs, runner on first. The pitch by Blackburn is fouled off. Strike 1, count goes to 0-1. Now the 0-1 pitch. Inside, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner on first base. The 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Count goes to 1-2. The 1-2 pitch. High in the air, that's going to drop in left field, a base hit. Sandberg coming around, and they're going to hold him up. Oh, he's going home, and they get him out. And that will end the 7th inning. The Cubs still lead at 8-1 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 8th. Ricky Henderson will lead things off for the A's. The left fielder. First pitch by Jenkins in there for a strike. Top of the 8th inning here in Game 2 of the World Series. The Cubs trying to even the series. They lead it 8-1. The 0-1 pitch. Outside, 1-1.
1 ball. 1
Michael Fulmer warming up with the bullpen for the Cubbies. The count's 1-1 to Henderson. The 1-1 pitch. Down low, 2-1. And now the 2-1 pitch. Inside, 3-1.
3 balls. 1 strike.
The A's, they need to rally. They're down by 7. The 3-1 pitch. It's a ground ball to Sandberg. He'll throw to first for the out. 1 down for the A's here in the top of the 8th. Ryan Sandberg makes the play at second. Bert Campaneris, the shortstop, up next. 1 out, bases empty. The pitch. Big swing and a miss, strike 1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Rips it foul. Count quickly, 0-2 to Campaneris. Cubs lead it 8-1 here in the top of the 8th. The 0-2 pitch. He went around. Struck him out. 2 down for the A's here at the top of the 8th. And now the DH, Jimmy Fox, will come up. 2 outs, bases empty. And he rips that one right into center field, the base hit. A 2-out single for Fox. That'll extend the inning here at Wrigley Field in Chicago. Next up, Jose Canseco, the center fielder. He had a home run earlier in the game, a solo shot. In their first strike, 0-1. Two outs, runner at first base. That's Fox at first. The 0-1 pitch. Rips it foul, 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch by Jenkins. Up high, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner on first base. That's Jimmy Fox at first. The 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off. It remains at 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Inside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner on first base. Canseco at the plate. The 2-2 pitch. Up high, 3-2. We got a full count to Canseco. And now the 3-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Remains at 3-2. Now the 3-2 pitch. Rips it down the line, down the left field line, but hook and foul. Count remains at 3-2 to Canseco. Three-two pitch. Swung and struck him out. At the end of 7.5, Cubs lead at 8-1 here at Chapman Sports. Ron Santo, the third baseman, will lead things off for the Cubs here in the bottom of the 8th. Cubs lead at 8-1 here in Game 2 of the World Series. Paul Blackburn on the mound for the A's still. The pitch. And right to Campaneris, he'll throw to first for the out. 1 down for the A's. Or 1 down for the Cubs, in the bottom of the 8th. Billy Williams, the left fielder, will come up. 1 down, bases empty. The pitch, inside, 1-0.
1-0.
1 ball, no strike, 1 out. And now the 1-0 pitch. Up high, 2-0. We'll have Game 3 on Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. 2-0 pitch. Rips it down the line, but foul. Count goes to 2-1. We'll have a football doubleheader tomorrow. We'll have Game 3 of the World Series on Thursday. Down low, 3-1. Three-one pitch. High in the air. Out to Canseco in center field. Canseco going back on the warning track. Makes the out. 2 down. So Billy Williams flies out to center. And now Sammy Sosa will come up, the right fielder, with 2 outs, bases empty. And the Cubs with an 8-1 lead. The pitch, outside, 1-0.
1 ball.
2 outs, bases empty. The Vikings and the Rams up next from Minnesota. We'll kick off week 13. The 1-0 pitch. High in the air, out to Jackson in right field, and Jackson makes the final out. At the end of 8 complete, the Cubs lead it 8-1. We go to the 9th here at Jammin' Sports. New pitcher for the Cubs here in the 9th. Michael Fulmer coming in to try to put this one away for the Cubs. The A's are down to the last 3 outs. They have to score 7 to keep the game going. Jason Giambi, the first baseman, will lead things off. In there for a strike, 0-1.
No ball. 1 strike.
About 5 to 10 minutes after this game's over, we'll have football with the Rams and the Vikings. 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, quickly 0-2.
0-2.
And now the 0-2 pitch. Down the line, and foul. It hit the wall. Count remains at 0-2 to Giambi. The 0-2 pitch. Struck him out for out number 1. A's are down to the last 2 strikes. The right fielder, Reggie Jackson, comes up with 1 out, bases empty. The pitch by Fulmer. Big swing and a miss, strike 1. Marcus Stroman warming up in the bullpen. The 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. In the dirt. Count goes to 1-2 to Jackson. And now the 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off, remains at 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases empty. The 1-2 pitch. Pops it up. Gabby Hartnett, the catcher, will get under it and makes out number 2. Oakland down to their final out here in game 2. 2 outs, bases empty, as Eric Chavez, the second baseman, will come up to bat. The Cubs about to tie the series up. The pitch in their first strike, 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 0-2, down to the last strike. The 0-2 pitch. Struck him out, and the Cubs win it. The Cubs take game 2, 8-1. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. Your final score, the Cubs win it 8-1. The series is now tied at 1 game apiece as we head to Oakland for games 3, 4, and 5. show by going online to theshow.com. Once again, your final score, the Cubs beat the A's 8-1. This series is now tied at 1 game apiece. NFL football coming up next. It'll be the Rams and the Vikings. Game 3 of the World Series will be Thursday night at 8 o'clock Eastern here at Jammin' Sports.